Joining us on the show is Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg. Secretary Buttigieg, great to have you on. How you doing?
Well, thank you so much for having me on.
First question I got for you, being from South Bend, are you hoping the Notre Dame Irish do well in the football playoff?
Yeah, so I was there for the game in South Bend, which is just electric and so much fun. Obviously, very exciting for us. And then I kind of figured with Georgia, if we survive the first couple of minutes, then we'd have a good ball game. And it's just an amazing defensive matchup to watch. So I'll be biting my nails going into Thursday, hoping for a good result. One of the best games I ever went to in my life was a Penn State game. So I'm excited about what's ahead. And who knows? My first year going to games as a little kid with my dad, I was 6 years old. That was '88, and we won the national championship. And I've been impatient for that to happen ever since.
Well, I happen to be a grad of IU, so I was not very happy about that. But, hey, best of luck to the Irish. We'll be rooting for them. Any team from Indiana, I'm all behind, so I hope that you guys win.
I'm just excited for IU to be this good at football again.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, for sure. Well, it's great to have you on, and we have been watching what's been going on with the Department of Transportation over the past 4 years, and we're coming to the end of the term, and I think it's really a wonderful time to reflect on how things have been going. So can you share with us a little of your thoughts right now about some of the accomplishments you've had over the past 4 years and what's going on moving forward for you?
It's probably never been the case that someone in my job has had a chance to make the level of investments that we've done through this infrastructure package. We're talking about more than $500 billion, and we've been able to work on projects in every part of the country. I go to a lot of these projects, but I did the math with 66,000 projects. If I went to 3 a day for the rest of my life, I still wouldn't live long enough to see them all. So I'm so proud that we've been able to work on that. We also came in with a historic set of problems. I mean, the airline industry collapsing, supply chains a mess. The silver lining on that is I think more Americans began to realize why supply chains matter, why we have to support the trucking community. Of course, I'm proud of everything we were able to do on that, too, from the highway and bridge work to the parking spots we've been adding. Long way to go, but for the rest of this decade, we'll continue to see things that we set into motion during my time here at the department, and I'm just so proud of our team.
I can only imagine, Secretary Buttigieg, that it was a huge challenge to come from a mayor in South Bend into a federal position and work on prioritization of such a huge department. Can you take us back to your first few months? How difficult was it for you to prioritize what to be looking at?
Yeah, I mean, as a mayor, you live and breathe transportation in your city, but it's a totally different matter to take over a federal agency. And I think anybody who has not been in a president's cabinet before faces a massive learning curve from day one, especially because with the infrastructure package, our budget became larger than the economy of the majority of the world's countries. But our priorities were pretty clear. We knew that safety was the most important thing this department can ever work on, and that's everything from aviation safety to remembering that if we have more adequate truck parking, that's a safer outcome for drivers, and everything in between. We knew that we had to improve the condition of our infrastructure. We knew that if we got it right, it would also lead to things like cleaner air and more job creation for people who've been left out in the past, and helping America compete economically. And we'd create a lot of jobs along the way. So the fact that we now have these incredible historic numbers on job creation, and that we've been able to use supply chain improvements to help cut inflation in this country, I think they all reflected the prioritization that we were forced to do from day one. And honestly, the number one job I think in a role like this is that prioritization. The White House set the broad agenda, and then we spent a lot of time talking to mayors, talking to governors, talking to community members, talking to workers about what they needed, and sought every day to make good on those priorities.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg joining us. One of the things that we talk about a lot in trucking is capacity, obviously. And I was reading a little bit about the Women of Trucking Advisory Board. Can you talk a little bit about that and how instrumental that's been in improving things for women in trucking?
Yeah, the basic idea here is simple. We as a country cannot be leaving half of our talent on the sidelines, especially when you got a field like trucking where we need to recruit and retain drivers better than we have. A lot of things go into that. Part of it's making sure that women know that this can be a great career track for them and that we support them when they do make that choice. Of course, no one better to shape the decisions around that than people who actually are literally in that seat. So we built this Women of Trucking Advisory Board to hear directly from women on what would make a difference to them, safety issues that they were concerned about, things that would help more people make that career choice. Obviously, it's the right thing to do in terms of fairness, but also it's the smart thing to do for our economy because, again, if we're scrambling to make sure as a country we can support and recruit and retain more drivers, shame on us if we're not looking to 50% of our population to help with that.
That's right. Well, hopefully those numbers start to improve. And I know that we as a industry have hopefully gotten through the worst of it. Obviously, coming post-COVID, there's been a lot of disruption in the supply chain. And so I think moving forward, there's a lot of optimism out there. And trucking plays such a tremendous role in that optimism.
I think there ought to be. Look, if infrastructure is your workplace, which is how one trucker put it to me, then all this work that's happening and about to happen, whether we're talking about improving bridges so less of them have a load limit, or improving our highways so that they have more rest areas and they're just in better shape, or the work we're doing at the front end to make sure that more veterans can get their CDLs, everything in between. I think it's really going to be a very important and very positive time for this industry. And again, even though nobody wants to go through what we went through with our supply chains ever again, I do think one benefit to it is that so many Americans paused and noticed just how essential the workers in our trucking industry really are.
Amen. Well, Mr. Secretary, I know you're pressed for time. I moving forward, want to hear from you. What's next? Do you have any plans for the next 4 years?
Well, I'm planning to take a break. I know that's for sure. I love my job, but we have been working very, very hard, and we're going to continue doing that for the remaining days here. So, looking forward to spending more time with the family, and got a pretty long list of chores waiting for me.
Sure.
I got a splitting maul and an axe for Christmas, which I'm looking forward to tackling a firewood pile out back at our place, and I think that'll be a good chance to just work through any pent up energy that I have about the ways of Washington, and then I'll get out there and find a new way to serve.
Fantastic. Any final thoughts for truckers out there?
Just a big thank you. If you're behind the wheel of a truck, you are an essential part of our country and our economy. Some people realize that, some people don't. But your Department of Transportation gets it. And, even though I might have my differences with the incoming administration, I have every expectation and hope that they will see it the same way and continue to support America's truckers. Fantastic.
Secretary Pete Buttigieg, thanks for all the communication, and we're happy to partner with you guys moving forward. And go Irish.
Same here. Go Irish. Amen.
All right. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us.